What's up, guys? It's John here with Malevolent. Today we got other John. He got second today with what deck?
Yubel, Fiend Smith, Chimera.
All right, and let's see the goo.
So to start with, the best card, 3 Gazelle. It searches half of your deck. I'm only playing 1 Baphomet because I hate drawing this card, and yet I drew it every game today. Once you get it in rotation, you don't really need a second one because you're either summoning it from the grave or you're summoning it from the deck in the first place. It's just one is fine. 3 of the absolute best card in the deck being your Apprentice, being a free body, grabs any illusion. Primarily things like your 3 Sword Knight, which grab anything that mentions Chimera Fusion, or your 3 Coatl that grab you Sword Knight or Gazelle. The last couple illusions that you play are the Yubel and a Tau. I didn't use this once today because I'd almost rather send anything else. And then this was real strong. I almost lost this last round because I cited it out by accident. That's it for like the Chimera monsters. For Yubel, it's a really small package. It's just 1 Yubel, 1 Spirit, 3 Throne. This is primarily just there to not only give you a body, but board out Phantom really quick so you don't lose to Nib or Droll, which are like the 2 things that you lose to the most. There's also some really cool effects where you can fuse away the Yubel that you bring out off of Phantom, and then trigger the Throne to add the Phantom back to your extra deck, so you only end up with needing 1. I played a rather large Fiend Smith engine because I could. Not only did we play the 3 Fiend Smiths, the Tract, and the Lurie, but I did play the Evil Hero package of the Necrom and the Adusted Gold. Just being able to either search this off of Gazelle or better yet dump it off of Baphomet when you need to then just E-Telly out a light Fiend that lets you do the whole combo is just really strong. It lets you board out a Necro Equip before actually needing to use any of your main effects, so that you end up drawing extra cards when you ditch things like your Cornfield. Just one more supplemental engine was I played the Patchwork package. I felt like this was probably the best ratio. I don't want to see too many edge imps without seeing the polys, and so I'd rather play 3 of this, but just being able to see extra fusion spells is really strong. Being able to use them with Magnum to draw more cards is just great. This card plus Apprentice is like GG. Of course, the 3 Chimera Fusion, I don't care if you can add it back from the grave. 3 is absolutely the correct number. Quick way to dodge things, recursion. The rest of it was all board breakers because hand traps don't really belong in this deck. I played 3 Book of Eclipse because I don't care if my stuff's face down, I'm confused with it. 3 Forbidden Droplet, that way I could OTK through it. And I just played 2 Tactics simply because that means that you have to let your opponent actually play before you can use it. I'd rather just tell them no. It's a 45 card main deck, although I have been thinking about trimming down the Chimera stuff a little bit, maybe only playing 2 Corn, 2 Sword Knight or something, because you don't generally need all of it. For the extra deck, we played the 1 Chimera, 2 Baphomet because it's the one that you're going to make the most. I did opt to play 1 of the big guy just because he's a free OTK in game off of like a quarter of your deck, and so I felt like it'd just be dumb not to play it and pass on free wins. We did play 2 of the TCG exclusives in Necro Equip and Aerial Eater. Aerial Eater comes in a lot when you brick on nothing but like fiends and things that you can't fuse into your Chimera stuff with, because it can start to dump even more stuff and trigger more fusion stuff with the Fiend Smith to try and get you into more of that. The 1 Phantom of Yubel, you only need 1. You're not using it to link climb, you're just using it for protection. The actual best fusion in this entire deck being Magnum. It's a light Fiend, so you can fuse it away into Requiem. It's a pop every turn. It's also a draw every turn, which is really cool. Boarding this with the Yubel and the Chimera, Guardian Chimera, means that you can basically pop all the spells and traps that they're setting and not have to worry about any of it. I did play 2 Xyz. Not only did we play the Caesar, because generally boarding this is what you want to do, but I did play the M7 just because that extra body, while also being able to make the sequence, is necessary a lot more than not, which would be the first link, the sequence, the Requiem. I opted to play the Muckraker, that way you can dump your fiends and then summon them back, which is like one of the main things that you do when you get fiend locked is you'll make the aerial eater, dump the Baphomet, link this and the sequence into the Muckraker, summon the Baphomet, and that gets you started on your Chimera engine. And then lastly, I did opt to play a Cross Sheep, simply because I found myself always getting stuck with nothing but fiends, and you can't fuse into a whole lot with just random fiends. And so being able to at least get to one of the other tri-types, being the beast that also lets you summon things like Sword Knight back, was definitely the play that needed to happen. For side deck, it's pretty just kind of random. Draw more cards when you're going second. Try to stop them from building boards. A lot of back row hate, because back row decks suck. And then my generic going first card being the 3 Power Stone. I don't need skill drain when I can just sit here and board this, turn it off every turn, continue playing, and then once their turn starts, just trigger a Mirror Sword or literally any effect in response to them activating their first monster effect. It negates their monster's effect. Now they're not allowed to activate monster effects anymore. So it's pretty cool to just skip most turns. It's my out to Tenpai.
All right, any final thoughts about the deck or stuff you'd change?
Like I said, I would definitely probably thin it down a little bit. I really like having enough monsters to be able to guarantee a fusion, but they start to become a little redundant. Nightmare Apprentice is by far the best card in the deck, being a level 6, being an extra body, and searching your illusions, that I think you could probably drop down the amount of other illusions that you're playing. Tau, I might end up taking out. It's such a good card, and you need it for the OTKs, but like, I didn't need to OTK anyone once today, as it turns out, and so you could probably even cut that fusion monster. It's just kind of personal preference. There's a few flex spots that it just kind of depends on what you want to do.
All right, well, thank you.